Last week, I watched my 80-year-old neighbor, Mrs. Chen, get down on her living room floor to play with her great-grandchildren. Then, without grabbing on to anything, she stood right back up. Meanwhile, I can barely put on my socks some mornings without sitting down first, and I'm only 67. So, I asked her, "What's your secret?" Her answer? "I spend 12 minutes on my bedroom floor every night before bed." Now, before you click away thinking this is another impossible yoga routine, hear me out. Because researchers at Tokyo's leading gerontology institute just published findings that completely flip what we thought we knew about aging joints. And Mrs. Chen, she's been doing these exact movements for 30 years. Welcome to Joyful Later Years, where we share practical, science-backed strategies to help you live your best life after 60. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now because we're committed to bringing you health tips that actually work. No fluff, no impossible routines, just real solutions for real seniors. I'm going to share these 5 bedtime movements with you today. And here's what shocked me most. They're so simple, you'll wonder why your doctor never told you about them. Stick with me to number 1, because that's the movement that literally rebuilds your joints while you sleep. But first, drop a comment right now. What hurts the most when you wake up in the morning? Your back, knees, hips? Let us know because we're replying to everyone. Here's what most people don't understand about flexibility and pain as we age. It's not just about being active during the day. What you do in the 30 minutes before sleep might matter even more. You see, your body does most of its repair work at night. But here's the catch. If your joints are already stiff and compressed when you lie down, your whole body can't effectively flush out the inflammatory compounds that built up all day. It's like trying to clean a sponge that's already bone dry. Japanese researchers discovered something fascinating when they studied elders who maintained remarkable mobility into their 90s. These people weren't gym rats, they weren't doing intense exercise, but they were all doing specific movements right before bed that triggered something called nocturnal regeneration. The numbers: a 67% reduction in morning stiffness, a 52% improvement in sleep quality, and, get this, 73% fewer falls over a 3-year period. Now, I know you're thinking, if it's so simple, why hasn't my doctor mentioned it? Well, Western medicine focuses on treating problems after they happen. Pills for pain, injections for inflammation, surgeries for worn-out joints. But these movements prevent the problems from showing up in the first place. Movement 5, the seated forward fold. This is what I call the humble beginning. Because it looks so basic, you might be tempted to skip it. Don't. Here's how you do it. Sit on your bedroom floor with your legs straight out in front of you. Already, that's doing something most Western adults never do. Sit tall, then slowly walk your hands forward along your legs. No forcing, no bouncing, just breathe and let gravity do the work. But wait, you're thinking, I can barely reach my knees. Perfect, that's where you start. A study from Kyoto Medical Center tracked 320 people over 65 for 6 months. Those who did this single stretch every night increased their forward reach by over 4 inches. But here's what really matters. Their lower back pain dropped by 52%. Half their back pain gone. The secret is timing. You do this right before sleep when your body temperature is naturally dropping. Your muscles are more pliable then, like warm taffy versus cold taffy. Scientists call this your circadian window of flexibility. Between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m., your core temperature drops by about 1 degree, making your fascia, that connective tissue wrapping your muscles, up to 40% more responsive to stretching. Hold the position for about 100 breaths. That's roughly 3 minutes. Count them. Your mind will want to quit at 30 seconds. But the real magic happens after the first minute, when your nervous system finally believes you're safe. If the floor feels too hard, put a folded blanket under your sitting bones. Comfort beats perfection every time. And here's a trick Mrs. Chen taught me. If you wear socks, they'll help your heels. Slide forward slightly on the floor, giving you a tiny bit more reach without straining. Mrs. Chen told me, the first week, I could only reach my knees. I thought I was wasting my time, but I showed up anyway. Now I can grab my toes. She's been doing this for 3 decades, by the way. One more thing, You know that tight feeling in your hamstrings? That's not just tight muscles. It's your nervous system protecting you from what it perceives as a threat. By showing up every single night in this position, you're literally retraining your nervous system to understand that this stretch is safe. That's why consistency matters more than intensity. Movement 4, the lying spinal twist. This one looks like you're doing absolutely nothing. You're literally lying on your back like you're already asleep. But inside your body, something incredible is happening. Lie flat on your back, knees bent, feet on the floor. Let both knees fall to one side while keeping your shoulders pressed down. Your arms spread out like the letter T. Hold for 90 seconds, then switch sides. Now, here's the fascinating part. Tokyo researchers put sensors on people's spines during this movement. They discovered it creates intervertebral decompression. Here's what that means in English. By bedtime, you're actually half an inch shorter than when you woke up. Gravity compresses your spine all day long. This twist pulls apart those compressed vertebrae like separating two suction cups that have been stuck together. In a study of 450 people over 60 with chronic stiffness, 71% reported feeling taller in the yisul morning after doing this for 3 months. But forget about feeling taller. Here's what really matters. They could turn their heads 35% easier to check blind spots while driving. They could reach into the back seat without pain. They could look over their shoulder to wave at a neighbor without their whole body having to turn. That's real-life improvement, not just numbers on a chart. The secret is the breathing pattern. As you lie twisted, breathe into the stretched side of your rib cage. Feel it expand like a balloon. This releases those tiny muscles between your ribs that have been frozen from years of shallow breathing and hunching forward at computers, steering, your wheels, and kitchen counters. Set a timer for 90 seconds per side. Your brain will lie to you and say it's been long enough after 30 seconds. Don't listen. The real benefits start after the 1-minute mark when something called creep deformation begins. That's when your connective tissue actually starts to reshape itself. Pro tip from Mrs. Chen. Put a small pillow between your knees. It keeps everything aligned and prevents strain. She also says if you feel any pinching sensation, you've twisted too far. Back off slightly until you feel a comfortable stretch, not a pinch. And here's something nobody talks about. This twist also massages your internal organs. Your liver, intestines, and kidneys all get a gentle squeeze and release, which improves digestion and helps you sleep more soundly. Japanese elders have known this for centuries. They call it wringing out the toxins. Now, before we get to the top 3 movements, and trust me, number 1 is going to blow your mind, hit that like button if you're finding this helpful. And subscribe to Joyful Later Years, because we're dropping powerful senior health content every single day that your doctor probably isn't telling you about. We're here to empower you with real, actionable strategies that actually work. Movement 3. Number 3, the cat-cow flow. Get on your hands and knees like you're about to crawl. When's the last time you were on all fours? For most of us, probably when we were babies. But this position alone is therapeutic. It's called a quadruped position in physical therapy, and it's one of the most underused healingist positions in Western medicine. Here's the movement. As you breathe in, let your belly drop toward the floor and lift your chest, and tailbone up. That's cow. As you breathe out, round your spine toward the ceiling like an angry cat. Flow back and forth like ocean waves for 2 full minutes. Sounds simple, right? But scientists at Osaka University discovered this movement increases cerebrospinal fluid circulation by 38%. This is the fluid that bathes your brain and spinal cord, washing away the metabolic waste that builds up during the day. Poor circulation of this fluid is linked to morning stiffness, brain fog, and increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases. And here's something that shocked researchers. People who did this movement nightly showed improved cognitive test scores after just 6 weeks. Better spine, movement equals better brain function. Who knew? The study followed 280 people over 65 for a full year. Those who did cat-cow every night, morning stiffness decreased by 67%. Balance improved by 31%. And here's the surprise. Sleep quality improved by 44%. Turns out when your spine moves better, you toss and turn less at night. You doesn't need to constantly shift positions trying to find comfort. The key is making it wave-like, not mechanical. Start the movement from your tailbone and let it ripple up through each vertebra to your neck. Japanese elders imagine they're seaweed moving in ocean currents. Some imagine they're a cat stretching after a nap. Find whatever visualization works for you. If your wrists hurt, do it on your forearms instead, or put a folded towel under your palms. Never skip a movement just because it needs modification. Mrs. Chen told me she did this on her forearms for the first year because of arthritis in her hands. Now her wrists are strong enough to support her full weight. Do exactly 120 seconds, about 30 complete cycles matched to your breathing. Your spine will feel like it's been oiled from the inside. You might hear some gentle pops and clicks. That's just trapped gas releasing from your joints, totally normal. It's actually carbon dioxide and nitrogen that's been building up between your vertebrae. When it releases, it sounds scary but feels amazing. One warning though, if you have severe osteoporosis, check with your doctor first before doing deep spinal flexion. Otherwise, this movement is one of the safest and most effective things you can do for your spine at any age. Movement 2, the ankle and hip circles. Sit on your bed with one leg extended. Make slow circles with your ankle. 10 clockwise, 10 down counterclockwise. Switch legs, then lie on your back, bend one knee, hug it toward your chest. 5 each direction, then switch. You're probably thinking, circles, that's it? This can't possibly matter. That's what researchers thought too, until they measured what actually happens. Your ankles contain 26 bones, 33 joints, and over 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments. Most people over 60 have lost 70% of their ankle mobility without even realizing it. This affects everything: your walking, your balance, how your knees compensate. A groundbreaking study from Nagoya University followed 890 elders for 3 years. Half did ankle circles every night, half didn't. The ankle circle group, 73% fewer falls. Walking speed increased 23%. And surprisingly, knee pain decreased 41%. How does moving your ankles help your knees? It's all connected. When ankles don't move properly, knees have to twist and torque in ways they weren't designed for. Fix the ankles, and the knees naturally align better. The butt circles work the same way. Walking only moves your hip forward and back, one plane of motion. These circles move it in all 3 planes, including rotation. Your synovial fluid needs this multi-directional movement to stay healthy. Research from the Japanese Orthopedic Association found people who do nightly butt circles maintain 45% more butts rotation as they age. Tying shoes doesn't require sitting down. Even intimacy improves when hips move freely. The timing matters. Doing these right before sleep means your joints stay mobile through the night instead of stiffening up from 8 hours of stillness. Body produces most of its joint lubricating fluid during deep sleep. These movements prime the pump. Movement 1, the wall legs elevation. This is it, the movement that seems almost too simple to be the most important. Lie on your back near a wall and put your legs up against it. Hold for 3 to 5 minutes. That's it. But what happens during those 3 to 5 minutes is anything but simple. Researchers at the Tokyo Metropolitan Institute of Gerontology were studying inflammation in aging joints when they stumbled on something unexpected. Elders who regularly elevated their legs before bed had 43% more synovial fluid in their joints, that natural joint lubricant that keeps your knees, hips, and spine moving smoothly without pain. Production naturally drops by 50% by age 60. That's why morning stiffness gets worse as we age. You literally can't produce enough lubrication to keep things moving smoothly. But here's the breakthrough. When you elevate your legs above your heart, you trigger a cascade of benefits that scientists are still trying to fully understand. First, lymphatic drainage increases by 95%. Your lymph system doesn't have a pump like your heart. It relies on movement and gravity. All day, lymph fluid pools in your legs, carrying inflammatory compounds that cause swelling and stiffness. Elevating your legs flushes this back toward your core where it can be filtered and cleaned. Think of it like unclogging a drain. All that backed up fluid finally gets to flow where it needs to go. Second, this position decompresses your spine in a way nothing else does. It creates gentle traction. The spaces between your vertebrae open by about 2 millimeters, enough for fluid to rush back in, rehydrating your discs overnight. This is why people wake up feeling taller and more flexible after doing this consistently. Third, and this is the part that surprised everyone, it triggers you to produce more hyaluronic acid. This is the same compound they inject into arthritic knees at 1,000 a shot. You can make it naturally, but it needs the right signals. This position provides those signals. The research followed 1,200 Japanese elders for 5 years. Those who did legs up every night, 64% less morning joint pain. Flexibility improved 31%, and sleep quality increased 52%. Why better sleep? Draining excess fluid from your legs prevents those midnight bathroom trips that interrupt deep sleep. Less pressure on your bladder means deeper, more restorative rest. The setup matters. Your buttocks should be about 6 inches from the wall, not pressed against it. This creates the optimal angle for drainage without straining your hamstrings. Legs don't need to be perfectly straight. A slight knee bend is fine, especially when starting out. Put a folded blanket under your hips to enhance the drainage even more. Breathe deeply and slowly, counting to 100 breaths. The deep breathing enhances lymphatic flow through your diaphragm's pumping action. Your diaphragm is actually your lymphatic system's best friend. Some people worry about blood rushing to their head. That's not how it works. You have mechanisms to regulate blood pressure, regardless of position. The slight increase in blood flow to upper body actually helps deliver nutrients to your spine and organs while you sleep. Start with 2 minutes, if 3 feels too long. Build up gradually. Your legs might tingle as circulation changes. That's normal and a sign stagnant fluid is moving. If tingling becomes uncomfortable, bend your knees slightly or take a 30-second break and start again. Mrs. Chen does this for exactly 5 minutes every single night. She sets a timer. She told me, "This is my non-negotiable. I can skip the others if I'm exhausted, but never this one. This is the fountain of youth right here." If you found this valuable, do me a favor. Share it with one person you know who's struggling with stiffness or pain. This information needs to reach more people. And subscribe to Joyful Later Years if you haven't already, because we're bringing you more life-changing content every single week. Now tell us in the comments, which of these 5 movements are you most excited to try tonight? And what's been your biggest struggle with flexibility as you've gotten older? We read and reply to every single comment. Your story might inspire someone else to start their journey. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And remember, your best years don't have to be behind you. They can be right now.